Hello YouTube. This will be a comparison between the Hollywood strings and the Spitfire Symphonic strings. So we'll go ahead and start with the Spitfire Symphonic string. We'll look at the violin multi that Spitfire has. And we'll go ahead and start with the sustain patch, or the long patch. And then comparing that with the Eastwest Hollywood strings, they have a key switch patch, which is sort of like a multi. And the key switch down here at C1 gives us the sustain patch. Now here's a comparison with the Spitfire Symphonic strings. So you can see they sound very similar. Now let's go ahead and take a look at it turns out they have a tremolo patch in common, so I'm selecting the tremolo in the Spitfire, and then the key switch in the play engine for the tremolo is E0, as you can see there. So now we're doing tremolo in the play. So you can see they're quite similar. And then the next patch they have in common, if we go to the East-West, if you'll notice the key switch, F0 is a half tone trill right there. Actually, I'm still in tremolo. Okay, so the F0 is the trill. So that's a half tone trill. And if we go to symphonic strings and select their half note trill, minor second, back to the East-West. Might be a little brighter on the symphonic. And then let's do the symphonic whole tone trill. Then move to the East-West. The whole tone trill is F sharp. So again, very similar. And I could, on the East-West, go ahead and raise the volume a little bit. Well, it is pretty maxed out. There we go. Spitfire. So really they're almost identical there now, once you get the same audio level. Incredibly similar. And then moving on to the violas, the Spitfire Symphonic Strings Violas. Let's see, we've got the sustain patch. So now we have them head to head. Whoops. Back to the Spitfire. Sounds to me like Spitfire has more violas in that patch. Sounds fuller. And then also we have the common tremolo patch. So if we go to the Eastwest Hollywood Strings, we see like the tremolo again is E0. And then the tremolo patch. The Spitfire seems a little bit more in your face. Of course, we do have a reverb on the Violas, the New Hollywood Hall, with a 2.6 second tail. So if we go to Hollywood Hall, let's say 1. Does tend to be more reverb in the Hollywood strings. Then let's do the trills. Here's in the symphonic strings, the half note trill. And then the half note trill is F0. You can really tell there's reverb going on. If I take it off, also we could do the close mic. That would give us a less reverby sound. It doesn't seem to be responding at this point. Oh, no. Oh, there it goes. Okay, it hasn't finished loading quite yet. Right now it's not on an SSD, so it does take a while to load these different mic positions. But pretty much The main mic does tend to make a fairly good comparison along with the mic position in the symphonic strings, which is basically halfway between close and far. Now let's take off the main and the mid, just do close. Now if we compare, but you still get the reverb even in the close position, even with the reverb off on the Hollywood strings, which is a nice sound, sort of smoother. Here it is. I think I might have them pretty well matched now. And then we have our whole tone trill in the violas. And then whole tone would be F sharp 0, or as you see when I hit F sharp 0 on the keyboard, for some reason East West tends to be have an octave difference in their convention. But as you can tell, the notes aren't quite as distinct in the Hollywood strings, probably because of the reverb in the room. And that's with the reverb off, as you can tell, on the reverb. Okay, now it's on. And if we wanted to, with the symphonic strings, we could actually go to the close position fairly easily. Now it's loading the close mics. So both of them, are recorded in rooms that have a considerable amount of reverb. So moving along to the cello, here's the symphonic strings. Let's close these windows. Here's the East-West. Whoops, it looks like okay, we need to hit C0, or actually C1. Comparison. Now we're on the East-West. Spitfire. And notice that the East-West didn't have the reverb on. Now I'll put it on. So then we have the comparison with the tremolo. So here's the Spitfire tremolo. And then we'll do the tremolo, which is E0 or E1 for the East-West, which doesn't sound like tremolo. Oh, there we go. Actually, I like the tremolo better on the symphonic strings. Here's a symphonic. East-West. Maybe I've accidentally gotten a trill in there. It looks. Let's try E0 again. It's just a faster tremolo, that's all. So the cue that you're writing might require a faster tremolo, in which case East-West would be the way to go. Here's the Spitfire. So if you're playing chords, it sounds better with a slower tremolo. If you play the faster tremolo that the East-West has, it doesn't sound that natural. So, but then again, and then we have the half note trill in the Spitfire. So if we do the East-West, the half note F0 or F1, those seem faster too. So let's do the half note or the whole note trill, which is F sharp. Then we'll do it on the symphonic strings. So again, slower. So apparently they've done their tremolos and their trills slower on the Spitfire symphonic strings. Let's go to the basses. Waiting for the window to come up. Here it is. Now on the East-West. So it seems the East-West seems to have a little bit more grit in the basses. Here's Spitfire. Let's do the Tremeloes. So Tremeloes E4. Because we're playing way down low, so. So getting down, okay, I need to focus on the East-West. There we go. So that would be the tremolo. Now let's go over to symphonic and look at the tremolo there. There it is. Here's a comparison. And then you have your trills in the Spitfire. So here's a Spitfire trill. Going to the Hollywood strings, let's see. We've got the whole note trill is up on F4, which is actually F5. So you get a pretty good idea. Now, the next patch, we'll go ahead and skip over the whole note trill because they're pretty similar. The next patch we'll look at is the string ensemble patch that Spitfire has. There it is, and also the East-West ensemble patch. So let's go to the Spitfire. For some reason, okay, for some reason that's taking a lot of CPU power, which is sort of weird, but so here's the East-West. Now what East-West does is they actually have all the patches overlaid. So right now we're hearing cello and violas. And as we go up, we start to hear the violins kick in. Now now we're just hearing violins only. And if we go down, we can see that's just cello only by looking at the instrument description underneath. And the bass will be down further. They don't start to kick in till right about there, actually B1. So and C2 is the lower end of the cellos, so that's when they kick in. Before that, you're just doing basses. Now, I think in the symphonic strings, what they've done for the ensemble patch is they've just recorded the entire sections together. Oops, we're getting CPU spikes. Buffer size is 512. Skip up to 768. See what happens. Now when we do the East-West, you can hear the upper register as clearly as you can with the Spitfire. So Spitfire actually recorded all of the strings together, I'm pretty sure, for this patch. So it sounds, of course, more natural, more balanced. But as far as the other individual patches for the strings, for the violins and the violas and the cellos and the basses individually, They pretty well match up. They're very close, sort of a taste kind of a thing, I imagine. The Trills and Tremeloes faster on the East-West, and the Spitfire, they're a little slower, so depending on your taste there. And a lot of times you can mix and match. You can use, if you like the cellos better, say, in Spitfire, and maybe the bass is better because they have a little more grit on the East-West, then you can mix them up if you have both libraries. Or if there's one sound you like better, then just go with that. But the East-West has been around for quite some time, and obviously the Spitfire is a newer, maybe not obvious to everyone, but it's a newer library. They just integrated some of their former libraries and into the Spitfire Symphonic strings. I think the mural libraries may have been part of that. They may have used some of the samples from that, but or maybe not. Maybe I'm confusing that with the chamber strings. But both libraries are comparable, and there's a lot more to the Spitfire, of course, and there's a lot more to the Hollywood Strings. As you can see in the Spitfire browser, they have Consordino, which you don't really have in the Hollywood Strings. And of course, Hollywood Strings would have your spizzicato and your staccatos, your pizzicatos, collegnos as well. And there are other patches that we have in the Spitfire strings, which more in depth in my previous video comparing Spitfire strings to the Berlin strings. You can see the full depth of that, or just go on the owner's manual. It'll give you a real quick overview of what is involved, what articulations they have. So anyway, this is Bill McFadden signing off from Tone Pure Music. If you found this video useful, please click like. And if you want to subscribe for upcoming videos, not only on comparing libraries, but also on music composition, then go ahead and subscribe. And as soon as a video gets posted, then you will be notified. So this is Bill McFadden signing off.